My name is Annie and I'm originally from San Diego, California, and this is my rig. I'm still working on a name and it's been a long time, an embarrassing amount of time to not have a rig name, but still in the works. And this is my home. This is my dinette. This is the part that slides out, and this is like the office during the work week. I still have a normal 9 to 5, and so this is pretty much where I work. They're called like blackout curtains. They're really thick, so they also provide a little bit of insulation. So if the sun's like beating down, I can still work here and not really feel that. And the curtains, these used to all have like those chunky old school, I think they're called balances, that come in a lot of RVs. And so I popped those off and just did a Velcro here, a curtain over there, and just the blackouts. And that's been really nice and provided a lot of privacy. This actually, you can fold this, drop it down to here, and then slide in the cushions, and then it becomes kind of like a guest bed. I don't normally have guests, but I could if I wanted to. Yeah, and then this is just my sun hat, extra storage. If I just have like miscellaneous items, I'll throw it in that little basket thing. And then the window's open just a little bit out that way, but for the most part, there's not a ton of cross breeze. But down here, this is where I keep my next pair of Vans. Because I've been wearing the same shoes for at least over a decade. So you have to have like your next pair ready to go at all times. And then jump rope. I have my trail runners, Saucony shoes, flip-flops, slippers, all that fun stuff. But you have to kind of finagle them around the heating vents that are also in here. And then this storage is more so just like handy woman stuff, headlamps, leveler, batteries, toolbox, thank you generic home improvement Walmart ones, and a tape measure for all of the absurd amount of DIYing I do in here. Here is the fridge. It can either run off of the batteries, propane, or shore power, which is really nice. It's just there's an option where you can just choose whatever's going to be the most efficient, and then it'll automatically pick one. It's usually propane if we're not on shore power. My bed, it is a queen size bed. There you go, bud. And I keep my books up top, have just like a standard comforter, a blanket that's mostly for him, and lots of pillows, because I'm in that snug life. And then this is all storage along here, and that is clothes, art supplies, my ukulele, journals, more bigger books, and then the smaller ones can fit up top. Storage with the mirror that's covered in nose marks. That is like more winter jackets, and so I don't really go into that too much. He's gonna lose his mind, but this is all puppy stuff, like cow ears, toys, extra leashes, longer leashes, doggy shampoo, and all that fun stuff. I actually started March 2020-ish. My ex and I had separated, and I was in San Diego at the time and needed a place to live very quickly. And I actually started with a 2015 Chevy City Express, which, if you know what that is like the tiniest kind of van. It like barely classifies as a van. So I built a slat bed in the back and did some, subflooring and vinyl wood, and just kind of a quick build. And mostly parked at the beach and had a lot of fun doing that. But there was some things that were not ideal, like having to remember to park next to a bathroom at all times, or if let's say the bathroom doesn't open till 7 a.m. and you're up at 5 and it's too bad. So it definitely got me started, and I immediately knew like I loved the lifestyle, and it was just so much easier just like having less. And so it did kind of get my foot in the door, and then I went, I want to keep doing this. I don't want to go find another apartment. And so I ended up finding this one in Lake Havasu City, Arizona from oh man, Russ, the homie. He, I think it was a Craigslist find or a Facebook Marketplace, and just an old timer that was getting rid of his old rig, and he was the nicest person, and of course left all the inside as the original. And so I actually went back later on and showed him all the changes, and he was just blown away. He's like, it never occurred to me to paint. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, and just being able to go wherever, whenever, and not have to spend my budget on rent and just plan a trip once a year. We have just extra storage. I don't use a ton of it. Yeah, like hot pads and let's see. Oh yeah, you need your cinnamon gum. That's a necessity. My Campbell's box is actually for all of my teas. And trash, things that I want to move around, like olive oil, cleaning supplies. And then my plants. Coffee maker is mandatory in any setup. Even when I had like a really tiny van, like we had to have a coffee maker and ran it off the inverter. But yeah, I don't have too many like plates and things to cook with really, except for a couple cups, couple bowls. And then up here we can actually test the levels of where everything is. The black water tank is broken, so it looks like it's always full. So that's a fun guessing game. And then yeah, how much battery life you have left. You can turn on the water pump here and also start your generator here. And this is pretty much just snacks. And this is also snack storage. Don't use the microwave too much, so it's mostly storage. Same with the oven. Pretty much just storage. Meal prep containers. One really big pan if I'm making something for the entire week. This is a peel and stick backsplash. And I actually had one really, really similar to it before, but it had like little gray lines. But of course, these walls aren't straight, so you kind of had to do a little bit of that, and then the gray line made it very, very apparent. So I just went with all white because it was kind of hid all of that. I definitely recommend in any rig just having a spot for your keys, especially being like a solo female traveler. Like you always need to know where your keys are. Any like pepper spray you can keep in there. I keep my phone at the hand, like at the ready, and of course emergency dog treats because you never know. I have a Wii Boost set up because I do work from the road. So this is kind of like the power source, and then the router is kind of tucked away behind the bed wall right there, and then the antenna is kind of hooked to the side of the ladder. And here, this is where I keep a lot of more snacks. I have a lot of snacks and spices, and I like that you just unsnap it and you can slide it out. So everything you could possibly need, almond flour, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds. I do a lot of like keto cooking, so that requires a lot of random stuff that you don't use too often. And then this is my bathroom. I painted it black. Actually, pretty much all of this used to be that really classic RV dark orangey wood. And then I primed it all with Kills, painted it all white, and replaced the hardware. And then I painted this black and did a little sheen on it. Yeah, this is a wet bath. So I have like a little pocket storage thing, which is really nice, and I can show you. So you kind of step up into it, but little pocket storage for everything that you kind of need on hand. And that sits there. Trash can, teepee. A friend actually gave me, it's like, I think it's supposed to be for shower beers, and it's like a little silicone thing and you slap it to your wall, but it actually houses my toothbrush and toothpaste instead of my shower beer. I love that my shower has a skylight. It's a small shower, but it definitely improves the experience. You know, just having like sunlight in the middle of the day if you're taking a midday shower, or just like a nighttime starry lit shower. So either way, you have ambiance. And then this is, I think it's called a body spa. Oxygenics body spa. I would definitely recommend this because you can actually turn off and on the water while leaving it on. So you get it to like the perfect temperature, and then you can turn it off, soap up, turn it back on, hose off, and then call it a day. The rig actually has an air conditioner and a heater, and you can probably see the vents throughout. I haven't used the heater yet, but the air conditionings definitely come in handy, especially as we're approaching the summer months. I actually work at a fancy schmancy tech startup. I work in software. I'm the senior implementation manager, which just means I get our in-house platform to communicate with other CRMs and softwares. And I think it was June 2020. Yeah, my company made the announcement. They said we're never going back to the office. We are saving so much just being fully remote, and the kickback, you know, so much generosity too, because they're saving so much money, and so they're shipping us things all the time and just like encouraging us to embrace remote, and it's been a blast. So this is a Ford F250 V8. It's the, I think, 7.8 liter engine. It's called the Million Mile Motor, and this one it's about 20 years old and has 420,000 miles on it. Still runs great, just needs basic maintenance, and yeah, I mean, it's the only thing about it is it's an expensive oil change because it takes so much oil, but other than that, I wouldn't change a thing about it. So this is where I keep my propane. They are refillable. It's two, I want to say they're 15 pounders each, but they last absolutely forever, and normally refill them maybe once every couple months. Yeah, and my fridge runs off propane usually. I cook with it, I heat my water with it, and it still lasts forever. Down here is the super lovely storage for septic hose, gray water hose, freshwater hose, and don't mix them up. Here is where I keep loving blocks, extension cords. There's a power converter from 30 amp to just normal aux, I think. Gloves for the aforementioned septic. And yeah, pretty basic storage. This is where I keep my 30 amp, that's where it's connected, and so if I do have shore power, it's really nice to not have to use so much propane and just run the fridge off of shore power. As far as like any lighting as well, we can do that with shore power as well. And it's my outdoor shower. The attachment to it is in a different compartment, but it's really nice because with Bear, if we are, you know, playing in, let's say, the lake or an ocean, and he is super gnarly afterwards, or I'm super gnarly afterwards, we can shower outside without having to go and ruin the inside of our house. We have two 12-volt batteries. They last a long time as far as when you're not connected to shore power. And to charge them, I just run the truck. There's a hookup inside the bed that will charge them, as well as running the generator. There's a generator inside that'll charge them as well. These are Happy Jacks. which means they're electric powered, which is really nice. So you don't have to just like hand crank them. You can just hit a button and wait and either stabilize the rig, or if you want to take it off, you have to like move it up, drive the truck out and lower it. Oh, and this is where I keep my fresh water. That's where all potable water goes if you're on the go. And there's also a hookup if you want to go to like city water and just connect directly. The only other thing on the back has a ladder to get up to the roof, which I've used countless times for, you know, photography, just to catch a really good sunset, just to kind of escape people if you're, let's say, at the beach or in a heavily populated area. It's nice to have your own rooftop deck. And then there's also an awning that comes out, and that's really nice shade in the summer. And then I normally also have a bike rack on that hooks to the ladder, and just like my bike will hang on it, but it is in use. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the outside of the rig. There's a lot of feedback I've gotten from friends and family that said, you know, I wish I did that, or I wish I could do that. And I mean, when I started, I did not have much, but I still kind of, you got to find a way and you got to go for it and make it work. And then once you do, it's like the scariest part is just starting and finding what works for you. And I've helped a lot of friends actually figure out, who have gone fully remote and who have gone nomadic, just like figure out what kind of rig you want. Do you want an all-weather? Do you want to tow anything? Because I personally hate towing things. But just kind of like start thinking about what would be best for you, what would work for your hobbies, and then make it happen.